Maestro Mio is here today, and I promise you, this conversation is going to challenge everything you think you know about success, ego, and enlightenment. Now imagine being in your mid-20s, having traveled throughout India, and achieving a level of spiritual awakening most people spend their lives searching for. That's who we're talking to today. But here is the twist. He's not your typical guru. No robes, no mystical posturing, just real raw wisdom that's going to shake you up. Mio, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. And with this introduction, I feel, I don't know, like I have again an ego, and I feel like my ego now is growing even more.
Now let's start with this. How does someone your age get on this path? And what's the craziest part of this journey?
Actually, it's quite simple. It's not about the age that you have in this lifetime, but it's about, like, in other lives, what was your spiritual progress already? Which means that if that young I start a journey, and if that young I'm lucky enough to, let's say, already achieve some good understanding of life, it's because of, like, my merit in, like, from past lives. So it's something that you build up, basically. Otherwise, there is no explanation. There is no logical explanation. Like, many people spend, like, their whole life, looking for enlightenment, but they can't, not even, I don't know, still not understand it. However, like a young guy, many young guys, kind of with my same story, everything's like just, like awakenings one after the other. So they are more ripe, but because they put, like, a lot of effort in a previous lives. So for me, it wasn't like a surprise that even if I was that young, I was first of all interested in spirituality, because even when I was younger, I felt like a pull, like a call somehow towards God, spirituality, meditation, all these, like, And then when I was 22, I felt like it was the moment to go all in.
When you were 22?
Yes, because
that's
everything...
early age.
If you look like, if you think about it from the normal,
right.
It's definitely an early age. However, like, I was still not sure if I wanted to follow the path, the life path of, like, let's say other people, like common people. It's like family, house, work, job, this and that, fame, vacations, holiday, all this lifestyle wasn't calling me at all. Actually, it was like pushing me away. So it was quite natural. Even if I was young, it was natural to follow the other path, which is the spiritual path, which basically is like an inner, I would say, path. You just, like, go in the other direction, go inside. And the craziest part about it, in my case, it was that it was very quick. That's for sure. Even myself, I was doubting whatever I was understanding, because everything was, like, just awakening so fast. And
doubting what you were learning, or doubting yourself?
Doubting the fact that in such a short period of time, I was having all these, like, understandings about myself, about life, that changed me completely. I felt like a different soul, not even a person. The person was completely, like, left somewhere else, just like an old memory that sometimes maybe may come up, like who I was before, who I thought I was before. And I had to kind of used to it and accept the fact that it happened. It happened. Like, all these understandings decided to come in me. Why? Because God knows, destiny, maybe I have to share the message or whatever. But I had to accept it, and I was, like, doubting. It's like, is it true? I mean, is it right, what I'm understanding? And then I found, like, some confirmations from other people that were, let's say, enlightened or awakened, or even my guru when I met him later. I realized that whatever I've been lucky enough to receive was exactly what I was supposed to find, like the truth. Something that really changes you and makes you feel free. And then, like in what we're doing now, eventually I would be, one day supposed to share whatever I've been lucky enough to receive.
But let's take it a step backward. I want to hit a lot on your book, Great book, by the way.
Like it?
I enjoyed reading. I didn't finish it yet because I think that there's a lot of concepts where you can't. It's not a kind of book that I would binge and read at once because I think there's a lot of concept to ponder and to think and to. It was very easy to read. Also, it makes these concepts simple and easy to understand. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So I want to get to the book and talk about your personal journey. As you described it in the book, it started with deep dissatisfaction and suffering, which ultimately led you to a path of spiritual enlightenment. So can you talk more about the dark night of the soul that you experienced, and what was the moment when things clicked for you?
Absolutely. So the dark night of the soul, in reality, I would say is the brightest night, basically, because it is the night when you as a soul say, that's enough. I don't want to do this anymore the way I've been doing it until now. I want to change something. I want more from life. So from that moment, you decide to approach life in a different way. You really become serious about what can really make me happy as a soul, as what I really am while I'm here in this world. First of all, you ask yourself if there is something that can do that. And then by kind of analyzing a little bit society and like all the people that are here, you realize that there are a group of people considered awakened people, enlightened people, who seem to have something more. They always have like a smile on their face. They always like calm. They always know how to behave in every situation. They are fine with whatever they have and whatever they don't have. So that's how I would say is the first step. So you realize there is someone, okay. The next step, which, it's all start with the dark night of the soul. So that's the first step. The second step is like, okay, how do I get there? How do I become like them? And I would add that what you really need to be focused and motivated and to start the journey and to kind of even like get through it is, like remember how bad it was before. The suffering in different forms as traumas, disrespect from friends, family, whatever, no? This has to kind of like push you. You have to like keep it in mind that if you go back, that's exactly what you're gonna get. So the dark night of the soul is the moment when you decide not to live the life that you were living before. When you decide now it's time to look for another opportunity, something else, another lifestyle. Okay, you find that in by analyzing enlightened people, okay? And then you start going towards that direction. How? It's not really important how. The most important part I would say is to stay there, is to keep in mind what you want. Like the final goal is to be exactly like that group of people. Because you realize that they're the only ones, because also like even someone who's a millionaire still may have doubts about life, suffering, problems, and guess what? They go to these enlightened people. So ultimately, they like sit on like the highest somehow, seat in the society in a way or the other. Everyone just like goes to them, no matter how much money they have, no matter who they are, no matter how successful they are. So that's, I would say, the dark night of the soul. It started in my case, if you want to get like more personal.
Yes, please.
I was really like not receiving any true satisfaction from life. I wanted something that was like everlasting, something that was real, something that could make me feel complete, at peace with myself. But every time I would get something, again, it's not it. And this actually, unfortunately, because I wasn't happy about life, about myself, I even treated badly people around me. Why? Because I was frustrated. I wanted more. I wasn't respectful to others, not even to my mom. In the book I mentioned that. So there was the suffering, and suffering, I believe it's essential for you to really desire happiness and like joy, peace, love. So if now someone sees suffering as like a bad thing, or like, oh my god, why me, like a misery, I would say that that's the starting point. It can be like the starting point, and if you keep in mind how much you suffer before, you really will put like 100% of your energy, your time, whatever you have, yourself, into finding a solution to that. So that's why, like, from the dark night of the soul, you come out to this bright side of life, basically. So from darkness to light. That's kind of the whole idea about the whole concept. You need to suffer, touch like the bottom to see how bad it is, how it sucks, that lifestyle, for you and for the people around you. And then you do your best to find a solution, which is, again, awakening, enlightenment, and so on and so forth.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, well, let's get real. So, for anyone listening who's stuck in their own version of the dark night or the dark night of the soul, what's the first step they can take today to shift toward awakening? Like something they can literally implement or do as soon as they finish listening to this?
I would say that spend some time with yourself. Turn off your phone. Turn off your life the way it is right now. Sit down for a moment and evaluate why you feel like this now. What brought you to this moment where you are like not happy? Why? Did you decide to do all of this, or you just like followed whatever came into you, like you just reacted to reality? Be honest with yourself. That's exactly what I've done. I remember this. I was like, I don't like my life now. I don't like myself now. I want to like my life. I want to like myself. How do I do it? But first of all, I was like, really like, it was raw. I was like, it sucks. I was honest about it. And then, doesn't matter how, you'll find a way that suits you to achieve all of that. Because we are programmed in such a way that something that I like, you don't. Even on the spiritual path is the same, which means that maybe the way of meditation suits you, but maybe it doesn't suit me. For me, for example, it was more about wisdom and knowledge. I realized that I didn't have the knowledge, the wisdom to be happy. So I wanted the wisdom. I wanted like the thoughts, the ideas, the concepts that eventually, of course, you'd realize and make yours, that would change the way I feel, the way I think. That's when I started, I remember, to just type on YouTube like how to be happy in life. And I saw all these like great people giving their own version of, like giving their way to be happy, to achieve that. Mm-hmm. And I somehow selected what I really liked, what I felt more like drawn to. And it was the knowledge, it was the wisdom from like different masters. It's not important like from which philosophy. It was like from Jesus, it was from Muhammad, it was from Krishna, and so on and so forth. Rumi, so many saints. And I love their message of love, of wisdom, of unity, of oneness. And I took that and I tried to like bring it in front of me and to work with it. And to say, okay, until now being selfish, thinking only about myself didn't work, didn't make me happy. I feel more miserable. I have stuff, but it's like irrelevant. Okay, let's try to be sharing, kind. Let's try to live in a different way. How would I feel if I do that? So I started like changing the way I was behaving. It was a choice that I made. I was like, okay, I want to do something else, something different, so I can feel different. And there's a beautiful saying which I love. It's like the definition of a crazy man is a person who does the same thing over and over again and expects a different result. Right. I really like embrace that. It was okay, I need to change what I do now. Everything, I changed everything. I changed the way I eat. I changed the way I think. Because I was trying to find a way to feel happy. Because until then it didn't work. So I said, okay, whatever I hear, many of the things that I have until now, I need to like exclude them and change and replace them with something else. But that was my way. Someone else, I would say, could try meditation, could try prayer. Eventually, if possible, one could like even combine all of them. Because there are different moments in the day when you feel like praying. Like praying, it's also like being grateful. Don't get me wrong. You're not just asking for stuff, but like feeling connected with a higher power, which eventually, when the spiritual journey comes kind of to an end, you realize you have always been that higher power. But until then, it's a process where the soul itself starts from like thinking of being a human being with the problems, with the idea, the ambitions, the fear, the traumas, to like this awakening of realizing that, okay, I'm the soul. I'm not the human being. I appear as a human being, but I'm the soul. So yeah, just like start the journey, look, explore, see what you like, see what can solve the problems for you, and then go all in on that. Because I never saw anyone who puts like effort 100% on something and doesn't get the result.
Right. Good stuff. I want to follow up on that idea. You mentioned earlier about happiness, and you found many definitions of happiness. What's your current definition of happiness?
I would say that for me, being happy, it's feeling this power over my emotions, over my mind, over life. Power in the sense that nothing can ever change the way I feel, the way I am. I feel powerful if I have total control on this. Because ultimately that's the whole goal. Even if I'm a soul and on the spiritual level I'm free or whatever, now I'm also a human being. And there's a soul as a human being, the highest achievement you can basically get, or whatever, is to feel like a god. And feeling like a god for me, it means that you feel you have power over the human side of yourself. You have control. Let's say the body has a desire. For example, the desire to have food, which is like a common one, right? If I eat, it's fine. But if I don't, for me as I am, it's still fine. We can take another one, sex. If that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, it's still fine. I'm not the body. I am the soul. I have control over the body. Let's say in the mind there is a desire for like more success, more money, whatever. If it comes into the experience, even after you put some effort, great, it's fine. If it doesn't come, great, it's fine. Which means that the body, the mind, they don't have any influence on my state of existence. I feel great no matter what. And that for me is the true definition of happiness. It's like the highest thing I could ever achieve. I feel so happy when I know I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I am what I am, and whatever happens here, good or bad, doesn't matter, I'm fine.
It's like being grounded as like a tree. So you're a tree, and then no matter what happens, even if there's a storm, if there is rain, if there is drought, anything, you just sit in the same spot, and you're not being shaken. Or you shake a little bit, but you're in the same spot. You're not getting removed.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And I'll tell you more, even if you as a tree, let's say a branch comes down, there is no fruit, or eventually the tree has to die or whatever, I'm fine. The body dies, not me as the soul. So also knowing who you are, like understanding fully your nature, you as a soul, what are the qualities of the soul, like you're eternal, you are formless, really like realizing all of this. It gives you so much power. You feel powerful again. See, we come back to this word power. Because ultimately awakening, it's like a superpower. So even when this body will be old, will die, I'll be more than fine with it. I don't look to die. I don't look for that. But I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Why? Because there is understanding of who I really am.
And we'll get more into that when we talk about awakening.
Okay.
But I want to take it a step backward and talk about your India experience. I know your journey to India was a turning point for you. people dream about going to India and for spiritual awakening, but not everyone comes back with the enlightenment, right? What was it about India or your time there that made it click for you?
Absolutely. See, India is like, I feel Indian in my heart. I even wear an Om sign, Om necklace, right?
What is that?
Om, it's, let's say, in different religions, there is this word like Amin, for example, no? For Islam. Even in Romania, it's like Amin. In Europe, like in Italy, is Amen. In India, there is Om. It's kind of, it comes from the same root, the same concept. It kind of represents creation, Trinity, or whatever. So anyway, India for me definitely changed me completely. When I was in Rome, in Italy, I was reading books from India, like from the ancient, philosophies of India. And when I got there in India, I went there to work, actually, for work purpose. But the COVID came, so I didn't work almost at all. And somehow, through YouTube, I met my guru. He was talking about another teacher that I was reading the books from, which I really resonated with. And I just sent a message like, can we meet? His assistant replied to me. And then we met a few days later in a coffee, in an empty Mumbai during that time.
Wait, so was that a comment on YouTube?
Yeah, I just sent an email. I looked for the email and I said, hey, I'd like to meet. I'm here in Mumbai. I realize you are in Mumbai. Let me know if that's possible. I knew it was COVID time and everything, but
what made it that you wanted to meet with him? What did you see?
So I would say I didn't meet until then someone who was like me, I would say, who could really understand me. So I was looking forward to meet someone, even as a friend. I wasn't looking for a guru. I didn't feel I needed that anyway. But I wanted to meet someone who I could talk with easily, in the same words about the same stuff, and understand each other without explaining too much. So that's when I decided to send the email, and then we met. And meeting him was the biggest, still until now, the biggest event in my life. Because even if I had a good understanding of life, I was already free of suffering, whatever, happy all the time. It's something special when you have a bond with a person like that, who plays the role of more than your father, more than your mother. It goes on a spiritual level. See, the mom, the father, they are great. They're our first gurus. That's what they say, right? They teach us many things about life, love or whatever, organization, depends on to who. When the guru comes in your life, he's another parent, but a special, very interesting figure. You feel very connected with him or her, depends, And it's a bond that, I don't know how to explain, but it's just pure love. The guru doesn't want anything from you, other than, if you want, guide you even more towards the journey and keep you company while both of you are still here. So India for me, it's not about the places, which are again magical, don't get me wrong, amazing places, the Himalayas, another place in the south called Tiruvannamalai, where there's a beautiful energy in the air, it's God energy. So easy to meditate there, so easy to find yourself, to know yourself, to discover yourself. But the people that I found in India that resonate with me, they have the same, they follow the same philosophy, they're drawn to the same teaching, the same masters. It's it's the best part of it.
What was something crazy that happened to you in India that you couldn't remember? Or the wildest thing that happened to you while you were there?
So many signs, so many synchronicities, I would say. I put it more on that level. Some things that you're shocked what the things you see. Even very personal stuff, I would say. All these synchronicities at the end of the day, they're very personal, right? To me, it may look oh my God, but to you, well, you just met, I don't know, whatever. You saw something, a sign, a number, or whatever. But anyway, I would say that the craziest thing, it's again, I'll come back to the people that you can meet. I mean, I met people with powers that, yeah, I think they are the crazy ones, the most crazy one. Like when you meet someone with, like, I don't know, the ability to read your mind, to see your future, you know, like the past. I think that's like quite crazy. If I remember like where I come from, like, you know, like Rome, Italy, I grew up there. Wasn't too much of that. You know what I mean? And then I come here, like, people are like so aware, they have so many skills, they know how to, I don't know, describe yourself better than you. Just by looking at you, they know how to read your face.
Whoa.
They do so many things, so yeah, I mean, now it's normal, but at the beginning I was okay, interesting, like, people.
Normal for you?
Now, yes.
Okay.
You get used to it because you meet, yeah, you meet like so many, you know, on the path, especially when you start to walk in the path, you keep attracting many people like this. So many, it's normal, no? It's like, it's all vibration. You vibrate spiritual, you attract spiritual. You vibrate more material, you attract more material. It's a kind of, but yeah, I would say people, yeah.
You got a superpower now or not yet? Have you harnessed any superpower?
Look, I was joking with my guru about this. No, I was like, we're like normal in this life, in this lifetime, and he was like, yes, because in this lifetime, was talking about himself. Someone told him that he's only supposed to teach. So the focus is only on the teaching, only on the wisdom. It's not on like the other abilities of the mind, which in other lives we might have had. Because if you practice, let's say you go to the Himalayas, you find a guru there, you practice for like a few months, or years, or whatever, you develop certain abilities. It's normal. You put your focus there, and then you get like results there. In this lifetime, for me and also for my guru, it's just about wisdom. It's just about knowledge. It's like, get the wisdom, heal yourself, and that's it. You don't need like fancy stuff or whatever. It's true though that sometimes you have maybe like a vision, like in the dream, that it's more than a dream. You know what I mean? Like it can be like a past life memory or like a message. Or I would say even that your intuition is quite on point, you know? But I would stop there. And I tell you more, I don't want powers. I don't need them. I'm more than happy like this. And the message has to be that even without those abilities, you can still be happy, joyful, enjoy yourself, live life in a beautiful way, and that's more than enough.
Okay.
So first get there. If powers come, that's like a bonus or whatever.
It's a bonus.
But still, like, you don't need it.
Okay, fair. And do you think traveling plays a role in awakening? Is there something about stepping outside your environment that, or immersing yourself in a completely different culture that accelerate the process, or maybe psychedelic experience that could accelerate the process?
100%. Traveling, it's not about traveling out of a place. It's basically traveling out of your mind somehow. Somehow you need to find a way to get out of your mind, get out of what you think, and you can easily do that by getting in contact with other people. They think in a different way. You need to look for that. So if now we're so lucky with the internet, like I've been able to be in India without being in India. So I traveled to India before being there. How? By meeting and listening to all these like gurus, people, how they think, what they say. So I got in contact with them, and that was never the same. About psychedelics, honestly, it's not my path. I never tried anything. I never tried drugs. So I don't know too much about it. However, I met people who I would say that through that journey had good understandings of life. Maybe not like a stable understanding, not like a final understanding, but I guess that can help, can enhance somehow the journey. However, it wasn't my path. I don't know how it works that much, so I don't want to express more than this.
Okay, fair. Good answer. Okay, let's get to the next part of the book where we talk about the ego. So you explained that much of the suffering is due to the false self or the ego. So for people who are unfamiliar with this concept, How would you define the ego, and how does it limit our day-to-day lives?
So the ego, the false self, in the sense that it's not the real self. The ego, we can even call it the me. The me, we can even describe it as the name that you have. Let's say I'm Mio, right? So Mio is the ego, is the person I represent. But I'm not only Mio. I am more than that. I am the soul. When awakening happens, you have this realization. So what happens with the ego after you realize yourself? The ego is still the persona, is the avatar somehow that you are using to interact with this three-dimensional reality. Okay. But the most important thing is to keep in mind that I'm not the ego, which means that if Mio wants something, it's not me as a soul, the real I, who wants that thing. It's Mio, is the human being who, just because lives in the reality, is exposed to certain objects, starts desiring them. Why is it so vital and so important? When you detach from the ego, whatever desire the ego has, whatever like trauma the ego has, whatever question or doubt the ego has, it doesn't bother you as what you really are. That's why like you need to have clear, it has to be kind of like in front of yourself. I also mentioned the ego as like the voice in the mind.
Okay.
Because that's exactly what it is. So when the ego wants something, says something, keep in mind that you are not the ego. The ego is like your avatar, is the person who is again like the result of like your past, like ancestors, whatever, the DNA, genes, programming, so many things all together. But you are not this only exclusively. You are also this. That's the awakening. That's the shift. You say, oh, I'm not Mio exclusively. I'm also the soul. I'm both at the same time. But in reality, I am the soul. And the ego is just the person that I have right now that one day, exactly as it came, may go with that.
Okay.
Right?
So by the real me, you mean the soul. The soul
Yes,
is the real
what
me.
I am. In the Bible is written, the name of God is I am that. I am that I am. Which is basically not this, not the ego, not me, or not nothing. It's like I am. I am that. That's the soul. It's like the simplest definition of the soul is I am. Not I am this, I am that. Not even like I am the soul. Just I am.
Does this have any connection to the title of the book? You are not who you think you are.
I guess so.
It's a great title, by the way. What inspired you to
Thank
call
you.
it that way?
My experience of life. Basically, I realized that I wasn't who I thought I was. So the message to people, to everyone from me is like, you are not who you think you are. Which means that you have to be open to the idea that there is more. Not only there is more about life, there is more about yourself. About yourself.
And also maybe it has to do with the perception, because I can't remember where I read this, where they say, you are not who you think you are. You are not what they think you are. You are what you think they think you are. Right?
Exactly. So anyway, too much thinking is like stop thinking about yourself or being something, just be. That's ultimately the goal. I remember I was doing a spiritual retreat with a good friend of mine from India, and he was like, just be, right? And I told him, just.
Make it even shorter.
Exactly, like.
Or without just now.
See, it's like, that's kind of the journey. It's like, take away everything, like take off, shake it off like the song, shake everything off. What's left there? You. That's the soul, that's the I am. It's like the pure being without any label, without without anything.
Just. I love it. No, but this whole idea of ego is what causes suffering. I mean, people like to flaunt their achievement, Instagram, fancy cars, The whole hustle culture. Are you saying that none of that matters? What if someone enjoys that lifestyle?
It may appear it matters, but ultimately being you the soul and having you a spiritual, I would say, form, whatever it's material, cannot fulfill you. The soul is eternal. It's formless. It's everywhere. It has a different nature. When you wake up, you realize that all these little pleasures, they give satisfaction on the physical and on the mind level. But for you, deeply, having the biggest house in the world won't make any difference, because at the beginning you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But you think that only like on the mind level, like as a human being. You as a soul, you don't care anything about this. So this has to be in mind while you, especially for young people who pursue success, money, and they have to do that because they need to take care of themselves. Keep in mind that you don't, how can I say, don't hope that the things that you will achieve will really like make a huge difference on the ultimate level on yourself, which is a spiritual level. So on a physical level, he as a human being, having a house, food, safety, great. But believe me, on a spiritual level, nothing of this matters. That's why many people, as soon as they felt like a call for God or like awakening, finding themselves, they left everything. Everything. They were millionaires and they went to the Himalayas with nothing. Why? Because they had like a deeper call. Like the deepest part of themselves woke up and they realized that having all of this was like ultimately zero on the spiritual.
And do you need to go through that dark night to hear that call? Or can anyone hear it at any time?
Look, at the end of the day, it's just about the destiny that people have. If your destiny is to go through suffering, having nothing, and then start the journey, that will be your destiny. If your destiny is to have everything and then feel like empty, and then start the journey, that will be whatever your destiny. It's just like very subjective. At the end of the day, life it's a movie, and in the movie there is duality. You know what I mean? There's like the rich, the poor. Mm-hmm. And then there is the rich guy who looks for God, and then the rich guy who dies selfish. There is the poor guy who, again, looks for God through suffering or whatever. Then the poor guy who doesn't care anything about God. Just about like, the role that they have to play also is there. If I didn't have the role to do what I'm doing now, my spiritual journey wouldn't have happened. And I know this in the sense that when I was 20 years old, I was looking for money, making money, how to have success in life, like normal stuff that a young guy may want. But then, now in this moment, like, because I have to be who I am right now, all of that kind of lost interest. I knew if I wouldn't be doing that, maybe now I'd be like a millionaire probably already, because the hunger that I had like of making money. But my destiny was different. So when I had all this knowledge about how to make it in life, I kind of I felt attracted to God. So my destiny took like a turn, like out of nowhere. Why? Because that was my destiny. So for a moment I have to play the role of someone who would look for like success, fame, whatever, but then my role changed immediately and said, okay, no, you need to go on a spiritual path. That's exactly who I became basically because of that. So it's just like a matter of destiny. Who are you supposed to be? What's your role in life? What does God, the universe, the mother, the divine mother wants you to play here in this world? You have to stick to that. What one of the guru from my lineage says that the movie is already in the can. When you go to the cinema, right? The movie is already done, the script is already written, recorded, the actors, everything is ready. So you just press the button and the movie is playing. So the movie is already done. And that's exactly what happened with us. We come here when the movie is already going on. It's already going on, the movie of life. We just come in with a role to play. And the role to play, it's very easy to know the role you have to play. It's exactly what you've done, what you are doing, and what you will do. That's the role you have to play.
Okay. And that's in the movie of The Matrix. Would that be a good example for?
Why not?
And what if someone want to leave the movie or exit the Matrix?
You can't. Even if you're enlightened, you can't leave the movie. You have to play the role of the enlightened guru or whatever. It's like on an internal level, you can kind of detach from it,
Right.
but not like from this reality. Unless again, it's your destiny to even like leave the body at the same time. Many people, many yogis did this.
Okay. But do you still have any materialistic ambitions? Like financial ambition, like to become, you mentioned earlier you wanted to become a millionaire when you were younger. Do you still have that ambition?
Honestly, no. However, I would say that because I'm not a monk, but I live in society, I realized that you need certain things in order to live comfortably. You have to take care of, like surviving, whatever needs. Even for me, I naturally look for like having a good situation in life, which means that I may create a business that can like help me with that. But there is not like how can I say? It's not like to prove something to someone or to myself, or it's like I really want money. No, these are only means actually that can help me live like a normal life, so I can do in my case the mission that I'm supposed to do, the spiritual teachings and all of that. So it's a different approach, of course, because you realize that all these desires, they belong somehow to the ego, to the fact that you are a person. If you're a person, you desire maybe, I don't know, a nice relationship, a nice house, money, whatever. But let's say if I'm a dog, what do I desire? Money? No, I desire just food. I want what the dog wants. So knowing that the desire that I have are only because I am this now, this human, it brings like detachment. There is space between you and the desire. And that's actually what's needed basically. Because life is this constant desire. But like the only thing is that don't be consumed by desires. Look for money, look for a nice relationship, desire that, but with like some detachment, some space. Which again, it means like if you have it, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, still great. That's the whole thing.
Okay, so you can still make peace with your ego while pursuing those goals.
Absolutely. You need to take care of yourself, of your family, your responsibilities, and in order to have all of that, you need to like put effort and go for it. Go get what you want, like money or whatever it is. No, but again, space and detachment from the desires. You are not the ego who wants all this stuff. You want all this stuff just because it's normal, it's good for you to desire it somehow. But if you don't manage to achieve it or whatever, especially after you put your whole effort in it, just relax about it. It's like it's not supposed to happen. You have a different role to play again. That's where you come back.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add on ego before we move on?
Ego is very tricky. It has different nuances. It's good to remember that the ego is like the voice in your head, like a voice in your head. So being aware, kind of present, and realizing when this voice comes out, usually comes out when there are things in life that it doesn't like. The ego usually judges a lot. So being aware of this voice, it helps you create like some type of detachment, which means that when the ego says something, let's say I don't like this person or whatever this is to me, instead of like accepting it as yours, try to breathe for a moment, try to take your time and realize that wait, it's not me who's saying it. It's like a reaction from the ego, from the mind, in front of this event, in front of this person, for good or bad reason, doesn't matter. But the thing is that it's not me. So I may even say that, but if you have the awareness that you are saying something that your mind suggested you, that your ego suggested you, you don't take it like personal, right? Let's say you're in a situation with someone you don't like, you may like tell him, look, in this moment, I prefer to be like in a different place. That's why you're expressing the desire of the mind, the idea of the mind, of the ego, but you're not like attached to the outcome. Like you don't care as a soul. You don't care if you're like here, if I'm in Bali or if I'm in Italy. I don't care as a soul. So the ego wants something, like let's say wants to change the situation or whatever. You as a soul ultimately remember that you are fine with everything. So if you are able to change and to give to the mind what it wants or whatever good, if you can't, still good. That's again the same message. Like whatever happens here, you are fine. Always on a deeper level.
whatever happens, you say,
Whatever.
this reminds me of Jocko Willink. I don't know if you know him. He was a Navy SEAL.
Oh.
He was a writer also. Tough guy.
Yes.
And whatever happens, doesn't matter what happens, down or up, he says, good.
Yes.
That's his answer always. Oh, what happened to you? You fell, you broke your leg, you did it. Good.
Exactly.
You move on.
You move on. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's shift gears. A major focus of your book is spiritual awakening. So, can you describe what awakening feels like? Or how someone would recognize if they are starting to awaken?
You know what they say, that only true enlightened beings can recognize each other. Why? It's really like it's a state of existence completely. It plays on a different level. It doesn't play on like the common ground, I would say. So it's hard to explain, like very hard to explain. It's like, I don't know, I go to a place and I talk you about the place. Somehow you have to, but okay, yes, I can understand what it is, but I don't know the place until I go there.
Or a taste.
Or
of food.
taste, exactly. It's like sugar, you know, you need to taste sugar to understand what sweet means. However, there are like some hints, like I would say like a collateral effect of like awakening that you can see in people who went through that. It's a state of existence that makes you feel free. There is a sense of freedom in your whole being while you go through life. Because, what we mentioned before, something bad happens, good. Something good happens,
Good.
Great, or good, whatever it is, right? So that is there, like, then there is awareness. There is, every moment you are like so present. You feel energies around the I don't know, the environment you are in. You read the situation easily. You have, the thing is that you have so much energy now that you didn't have before, because you are lost in your thoughts, in your opinions, traumas, problems, desires. Now all of that is like put on the side. So just you naked, basically, enjoying this life. What else can I tell you? You have an inner sense of peace that is not because of, how can I say, your effort during the spiritual journey, just because you discovered actually your true nature. In the Indian philosophy, they describe you, the soul, or God, which is, they say it's the same thing. You and God are one, ultimately.
The soul and the God
Yes,
are one.
and God, yes, ultimately. They describe it as a Sat, Chit, Ananda. These are like the qualities of God, according to them. Sat means existence, so you exist. Chit means consciousness, so you are conscious, you are aware. And Ananda, it means bliss. You are bliss. The journey of awakening gives you access again in a clear way to all this quality of yourself, which is like, I exist, I know that I exist, and I know that I exist, and I'm extremely blissful. It's a quality of myself. The idea about people being happy when they achieve a desire is just because they are already happy. Then there is noise of the desire. Okay, so they're not happy until they get the thing. When they get the thing, this noise disappears, and they're happy again. And then again, a new desire comes in, they forget they're happy by themselves. They achieve that thing, they consume that desire, whatever, and then they're happy again. They always happy. But they think they need stuff to be happy, that they think that the object will bring them happiness, but in reality, just like achieving, completing that desire will remove the noise of the desire, and they will again feel the same happiness they already had before in the beginning.
So it's not, you wouldn't say it's a chase, it's more of a journey. Yeah, I remember where I read this, where it said happiness is not a destination, but a way of travel.
Yes.
So I think if you're not sick, if you're not having like extreme suffering or troubles, happiness is a choice we make every day when we get up. I think for most people, it's a choice.
Yeah.
You want to be happy? Just be. Just.
Just.
So, yeah, I think it is a choice. It is a choice for most of us.
Yes. When you start to become aware, when you start to feel a certain control over yourself, your body, your mind a little bit, then you start making the choice. Yes. Before then, unfortunately, you live in a very like unconscious way. You react. You're like in a reacting mode, no? But then when like this type of like powers come to you, then you start choosing to be happy. More and more and more every day, you know?
Okay. And that brings me to the next idea of life being much like a dream. And that we are the dreamers of our own reality. Can you expand more on that idea of the dream?
Yes. So actually, this comes from again the Hindus. They are quite interesting as as people who really like wanted to find out about life. So they give us a method to understand that life is like a dream, in the sense that the qualities of life are very similar to the ones of the dream. So they suggest us to explore in our own experience, and everyone can do this, the three different states of existence that we all go through every day almost. First, it is reality, life. Then the dream state, the world in the dream, and then the deep sleep state, right? Between the first two, this reality and the dream, they point out the fact that both of them come and go. Both of them come and go. The only difference is that this one here is kind of stable. It's kind of all the same, right? Every day you wake up, it's kind of the same thing. In the dream, one night you may be like a superhero, another one may be a plant or whatever.
Or nightmare.
A nightmare or whatever, right? And then they go like, okay, then there is like another state we should explore, which is the deep sleep state. And over there, this reality is not present. Not even the dream state is present. The dream world is present. What's left there?
Nothing.
All right. Let's say, okay, now that you are here in this reality, that thing in the deep sleep state, the one who was there in the deep sleep state was also here. Like, what do you mean? When you wake up from a deep sleep state, you can say I slept well or bad, right? Which means that if you say you slept well, like there were no dreams, no disturbance, life wasn't here for sure, not even dreams, and you're like in a deep sleep state. But you were there, able to notice the absence of all of this, the material world and the dream world. Right? Okay. That one who wakes up and then says, I slept great, is not the same one who was in the deep sleep state, being aware of the absence of everything. What I mean by that is that, how can you say that you slept amazingly great if you weren't there? The world wasn't there, the dream world wasn't there, you weren't there, and yet something was there to say, yes, I slept well. But when you wake up, you say, I slept well, but you weren't there. How can you say that?
Because you feel fresh when you wake up. You feel like you're ready.
Yeah. So something was there in the deep sleep state. Something was there. But not you as like me as Mio, you and Tiger, you as Tiger. You as you're like, boom, you're like the realest form, basically. That one was there. The error that people think is that when they wake up, they say with the identity of the person, I as a person, I slept very well. No, you get this like all wrong. You as a soul were present there and you observe the absence of everything, both the worlds, like the material one and the dream one, which again, they are the same basically. They both come and go. Like in that moment, nothing exists. Life for you and the dream world for you, they don't exist. They just come and go. In that moment, they are not there, but you are there in the deep sleep state. You are witnessing this deep sleep state. It is the absence of everything. Mm-hmm. And then when you wake up, you have the ability to say, I slept well. But be very careful, like, who's saying I slept well? You as Tiger, or you as the soul, you as what you are there present. Don't make the mistake that I slept well, I the person Mio. I wasn't there. Mio wasn't there. So Mio cannot say when he woke up, I slept well. So who says that really?
So it's the soul?
Exactly. You're what you are.
And where does the soul go when you're sleeping in that dream state? Not dream state, sorry, but that deep state. Where does the soul stay within? Does it go somewhere? What happens to it?
The thing is that the one who is in the deep sleep state, it's also like the basis of the dream world when it happens, when you have dreams, and also like the basis of like the material world. So the soul is not the one who's going anywhere. It's like these realities are going and moving. The soul is stable.
Same place.
Right now, the soul is here. The soul is the one who witnessed the deep sleep state, the absence of the dream world. The soul is the one who's present there when there is like the dream world, and the soul is the same who's present now in this reality. It's like the underlying being who's always there. That's why he said that we are the dreamer of this world. Me, in my real form, as what I am the witness of the deep sleep state, of the dream state, and of this like real world state.
All of it.
All of it. I'm always here. I don't go anywhere. These things come and go according to the movements of consciousness, which are of course connected to the body. The body goes to sleep, then you don't see this world anymore, but maybe if the mind is active in the dream state, then you see like a dream world. And then when both the body and the mind are kind of turned off, there's like a total absence of these states, right? But you are still there, you are present, without anything. And that's where the idea of like being immortal comes from. Even if I don't have the body, I'm still existing. I'm still a witness to the nothingness.
That's a very deep concept.
Yes, it's actually in the third part of the book, this one, when I mention like our true nature and like different ways on how to like find it and analyze it as well. This is one of my favorite methods because I remember when I like found it, I just like, I sat down, I analyzed my experience of life, and I was like, yes, I now understand. I touched like myself, my deepest self in this reality here. I could do that. It was like amazing.
Oh, is there an exercise that you could do?
It's just like analyzing, like, okay, who am I in this world? Who am I like in the dream world? How this thing works? Like what we just shared now is more than enough for the mind to give like food for thought, I would say, you know?
Okay.
It's like stay with this concept, stay with these ideas, like try to assimilate it, let them like sink in, let them become part of you. Then you like have a feeling of like this world, the feeling of the dream world, the feeling of the deep sleep state, and the feeling of the one, which is yourself, who is always present in the deep sleep state, in the dream world and dream state, and is like waking state.
I understand the difference, I guess. That's really important. So then, what would be your advice for someone that feels stuck? Maybe stuck in a job, stuck in a relationship that they hate, or constantly chasing external success. What would be your advice for them, and how could they reach awakening?
I mean, look, a guru is very happy when the student goes deeply into life and lives life deeply, because contrast with the things, contrast with life, makes the student, the disciple, really understand that it's not worth it. So, I mean, it's something that each one of us like should do, like live life fully and accept the fact, get like to the understanding that ultimately it doesn't fulfill you. When you realize this, it will be like so easy to like change direction because you don't want it anymore. So I would say live life fully until you get bored of it, until you have like you achieve all desires, you will achieve all the things that you want, live all of that until you realize like nothing makes you happy, and then you can easily like come on this side and look for like spirituality or whatever. Because nowadays, especially in young people, of course, people have so many desires, and I guess it's easier, if possible, to fulfill them as soon as possible and get rid of them instead of like suppressing them and start like a spiritual journey like in a forced way. For me, for example, it was very natural. That's why it's like it was no problem for me like in desire, having like many desires. I didn't care already about that stuff. But if someone like has so many desires, so many responsibilities or whatever, leave that as much as you can, but in order to realize that ultimately the nature of the things that you have, of the lifestyle that you have as well, is not fulfilling for you ultimately, deeply. And then you can like start your journey, as we mentioned, like with some books, check if meditation is for you, and other like different, techniques and yeah.
Do you still have desires?
Desires are natural. They come when you get in contact with objects. Let's say, example, now I feel thirsty, my mouth feels like drinking something, desire grows up, right? Like it comes up. But the thing is, again, like, I don't care if I can achieve my desire or not. If I can, great. If I cannot, it's still great. And that's, I would say, is my biggest message to everyone. Like, whatever happens in life, if you can achieve or not your desires, whatever they are, good or bad, that's relative for like each person, just like don't get like affected by it. Don't get affected by the result.
So be in the present.
Be in the present, be present, and be.
Okay. Which is something you emphasize in the book, Living in the Present. But we all know how hard it is, especially with social media, work, deadlines, and future plans. So what are some practical steps that people can take to ground themselves more into the present?
First of all, I would say you need to start to change your environment as soon as possible, because the guru doesn't live like in the center of New York. The guru decides to live in a place where it's like more suitable for like his needs. If he wants peace, he's not gonna live like in the craziest place of like, even if say you live in New York or whatever, in Mumbai, like my guru does, he doesn't live like in the crowded place. You know what I mean? Like, so you need to clean a little bit your environment. If the job is like, it's not making you like super happy or like very like stressful or whatever, and you desire peace, you cannot have them both unless you find a solution to that, whatever it is, like delegate or I don't know, whatever, no? So I guess it's very subjective, first of all, but try to work on like these two things, like outside on the environment, if you can clean it up a little bit, because I remember even myself, when I started a spiritual journey, I cleaned my room, I made it like more minimalistic, I changed my diet, I kind of removed even meat for a while, I remember. Why? Because I wanted an environment that was suitable for what I wanted to achieve. I wanted peace, I wanted awakening, and I knew that instead of listening to rap music at that moment, it was more suitable for me to listen to mantras, classical music, to bring me in a vibration where I could have what I wanted. Now I'm on a different stage of my life. Sometimes I can listen to mantras, but sometimes also to like some rock music if I need like more energy, for example, to work and whatever. So like need to take care of like your environment and then also of yourself. Because if outside is all great, but you don't have the right mindset to see it, that is great, you will still suffer. You will still feel like stressed, frustrated, anxious. So you need to work on like these two levels, your environment and yourself.
Great. I like this. I like this. It's reminds me also of one the rules for life. I think I can't remember the name of it before. Of Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, sure.
And the first thing he says, clean your room.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Clean your room, because the benefits. It's not just about cleaning your room, not the fact that you're cleaning it, but you're also clearing your mind somehow.
Yes.
So you're not in that mess anymore. There's less mess, so you can think more clearly, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all correlated. I mean, we're like so influenceable by many things, you know, like by people that surround us, but also by the environment. Now that we are both living in Bali, I ask you a question now. How do you feel now in Bali, like respect to like Atlanta, for example? Like, is it like a different energy or is it like the same?
Oh, completely different. The main thing, it's over there. I'm always late. I'm always late. I'm always running. I'm always trying to meet deadlines. Okay, I gotta be there. And so you're so stressed that you're not experiencing life anymore. Meaning it's like a tunnel vision, right? Here, there's can go whenever. Like there's no time or no different perception of the time. So you can be driving around and you see something. Oh, you stop, you ponder, you talk to someone, you experience life, you're living, you're seeing everything for what it is. But there, it was back to back to back to back to back, and you're just hustling.
Yeah.
And then you look, I'm like, damn, the whole day passed, and I didn't do anything. But yeah, okay, I did work.
Sure.
I put what I had on the agenda or my to-do list, but.
Sure.
Am I living? Is this how life is supposed to be? And so it was not fulfilling for me. At some point, I believe that everyone has to go through that period where you're hustling, right? And you have to go to that side also to understand what's on the other side.
Yes.
And once you experience that, yes, you advance, I think, a lot in life or towards achieving certain goals, but then you also know that when you go to the other side, okay.
Exactly.
But I think personally, I like to have both. I like to be able to stop, have that freedom, have that flexibility and freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, but at the same time have a routine. Have a structure to life at the same time. So I think the goal is to find a balance between the two.
Absolutely. I share that vision as well. Many other people have different tendencies, different destinies, different roles to play. That's why they're like either in one of the two extremes, like too spiritual, too materialistic, right? But you are like in the middle, trying to kind of combine both of them, trying to have like some freedom, some joy, like whatever, but also like some discipline, like a routine.
Exactly.
And that's exactly even how myself now, especially because I feel like I have a mission to do. I have like something to do. I need like both. I cannot be like fully spiritual, otherwise I wouldn't be like, I couldn't bring spirituality here in society, like share it with others. So you need like, if one wants to achieve something in life and do it like in a very comfortable and like joyful way, so like about like his or her own well-being, like both of the things have to be like together. I agree with that.
And what is your mission?
The mission, actually, I felt it when I realized that I'm still here. For my own personal, I would say, evolution or spiritual success or whatever, awakening, I feel complete in the sense that nothing else that I will have, that now I don't have, will make any difference. And yet I'm still here, which means that at a certain point when you're like in this state of existence, let's say Buddha, for example, if it was for him and he didn't have like any disciple interested in what he had at the time, there would be like no point for him to stay here. What does motivates you when you feel like you have everything already and you don't have almost nothing in your life?
And he had everything.
He had everything in his case, then he had nothing and he felt like he really had everything. So you cannot give anything else to a man who like already feels complete to make him feel even better. He doesn't need anything anything. However, if he was still there, he was there for like the disciples, for like the millions of people that he impacted. We can say this about Jesus, we can say this about Muhammad. It's the same. They were here not for them, but for others. It's true that you also learn more and more and more by living life. However, if you learn or if you don't, or what you learn, what you don't, it doesn't make any difference for you if you feel already like complete without having nothing.
How do you get to that feeling of being complete without having anything?
The journey of awakening that leads you to awakening, and all the things that you do in the journey that activates somehow this knowledge, as we were talking before, like knowledge is already there, the feeling is already there, but you need to like understand it, you need to activate it. So you activate it by cleaning all the wrong thoughts, ideas, opinions that you have about life. You like someone, I mean, which is like, I need this in order to feel fulfilled, or like I need something else, I need to do this and that. Like it can even be like very subtle, no? People like, okay, I don't need a car to be happy, but I need this. Still you need something. So you need to like get rid of all these ideas that, no? Like what we were talking before, like that you need like to fulfill a desire in order to feel this happiness. You already have it. It's yours, ananda, bliss. It's your own quality. So it's kind of stop desiring things, thinking that only you'll be happy only when you like achieve them. Realize that you are already happy, fulfilled, and then you can like allow desires to come into your experience and like kind of pursue them, and allow yourself to pursue these desires if you feel like it's something that you like, that you're supposed to do.
And that idea of need, because earlier, I don't remember what it was exactly, but you said, I think, I need water, and then you said, no, I don't need water, I want water. What's the difference?
When you approach the world of, let's say, the world of like manifesting, law of attraction, I don't know if you're familiar with it, okay, they teach you that if you want something, you have to already feel in that vibration, right? So let's say I want wealth. I already need to feel wealthy. I must not need, but I must feel wealthy in the sense that I have to vibrate already like as I have that, right? So when I say the word need, actually I speak from scarcity. I speak from like I don't have it now, I need it. But when I say the word I want, I speak from like abundance. There's like an abundant world full of abundance, not like full of many things. I just want this from this abundance. I want this, I want this, I want this. It's like a difference, you know? And now I'm in a phase where I'm manifesting, right? My mission and everything. I'm very picky with the words that I use. So every time I can, I correct like the old patterns that may come out like naturally, like spontaneously, and I change, I rephrase it. Why? Because my thoughts and my words, they shape my reality. So being aware of this, you're very careful of like the words that you use.
Brilliant, yeah. Brilliant. No, that idea of words, I think it's very important, because the words we say becomes the reality. You know, everyone hates that. Not hate, but hate is a big word. You gotta choose the words wisely. But you know, there are people when you say, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" and they say, "I'm tired."
Guess what?
And you ask them for the next time, say, "Oh, how are you?" "I'm tired." And then I personally stop asking how are you next time. I say, hello, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
If they say I'm tired again, I say, next time just say hello. Because I feel like that word is it's definitely impacting them because they look tired, but it also can have an impact on me, right? So if someone you ask, hello, how are you? And they say bad, so I'm not saying how are you anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
So I really think that the words we say are very, very powerful. And so we have to choose them wisely. And I think meditation helps a lot with that, because meditation helped me be more present. It brought more awareness. So it's like the response time, like before the response, before the reaction, there is time. Right? There's a little time.
Yes.
Someone honks at you and you're like, hey, you know? That time is very short.
Very short, small, yeah.
But the more you meditate, I feel like the more that time stretches. So you're like a ninja,
Yeah.
and before you react or say the word, you think. You think. It might be very short, but for you it's enough time to say, no, I shouldn't use that word. I want. And that happens in your brain.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I really believe that words are very powerful.
And that happens, what you say, like when you have some space between you and the ego, between you and the mind, between you, the soul, and everything else. When you have this space, then you feel like you have power. You have power to choose, to decide like what you really want as a soul in that moment. Sometimes anger is the right element in a situation. Sometimes violence even is the right element in a situation. If you need to defend yourself, if someone is attacking you and like very close to you, responding with like, a push or whatever is the best way you can do.
Right.
And even like an enlightened person does that. He doesn't do it like in a reactionary way, like just the only thing he can do.
But he thinks before
He
doing
thinks
it.
before doing it.
Yeah,
That's the only
he'll
difference.
Still do it.
Exactly what you actually explained.
Yeah. But going back to staying or living in the present moment, here's what I struggle with. It's planning something in the future, having an end goal, and at the same time stay grounded in the present. How do you do that?
First of all, we all live in the present moment. There are different ways of living in the present moment, but the present moment is the only place where all of us live.
Okay.
You think about the future in the present moment. You think about the past in the present moment. No matter where you think you are always in the present moment. First of all, it has to be very clear. There's one huge piece of time, which is like the eternal now.
Okay.
About organizing the future or like using the past to somehow like improve the present or the future itself, right? You still do it from the present moment, and that's part of life, which means that you cannot only live in the present moment because the way of life it's supposed to be. We are like creators. To create something, you have to imagine it. Imagining something, it means like being somehow in the future, like what you want. So being in the future is natural. And even myself, when I need to organize and like to set new goals or like what I need to do, I imagine the future, how I want it to be. But I do it only as much as I need in order to do something or whatever, or want, as we said before. And then again, I'm here in the present moment. Why? Because it's not useful anymore to keep staying like in my imagination or whatever. I did that. Like even when you manifest, you want to attract something in your life, for a while, you may live in the emotion of already having it, not so you can attract it even more. But then you also like enjoy the present moment. Whatever you have here, there are so many beautiful things here already, right? So I would say that it's normal to kind of organize the future, but like do it only as much as it's necessary for you to get that outcome or whatever. Like you need to organize like how to go to, not back to US or whatever. So you do that, you organize, you live in the future a little bit, and then boom, you come back here as soon as you're done with all the practical stuff that you need to do. That's it. I don't see it like as a big thing. Like it's a constant switch between always like past, future, present. And it's normal the way life is supposed to be. But again, ultimately know that you are always in the present. Always. So knowing this, like I don't need to be in the present. Even if I think of the future or the past, I am always in the present. And if you want like a real practical tip on how to do it, breathe. Just breathe once. Breathe once, you are back like in the super present moment, like pure, pristine. There are no thoughts. When you breathe, you take it out, there are no thoughts, you are free again, you can start over again.
And you're focused on your breath automatically.
If you want. However, like you become good at multitasking at a certain point. Like you like, it's everything is natural. Like, yeah, now I'm thinking of the future because I'm supposed to organize stuff. You know, I'm thinking of the past because I need to like do better like a situation using the knowledge, the memory from the past. So like you use it like in a very practical way, very pragmatic. Like you don't like have anxiety of the future. You don't live in the past and you're like traumas. Use like these two elements, which is I know imagination and memory. Ultimately, that's what I think. Even in the book I wrote it, and they use them for what they are.
I love this idea of if you feel like you're stuck in the past or the future, just breathe. I'm here. I'm here now.
100%. Like no way out, no escape.
Yep.
You know what's funny? The whole journey starts with the ego thinking, then the ego itself will become powerful, it will become enlightened or whatever. But in reality, the ego dies and the soul becomes enlightened. The soul awakens to itself basically. Meanwhile, the ego is... You are an ego. When you start the journey, you think you are a person, you think you want to become enlightened to get rid of your own suffering, but there's all the ego talk, the ego thinking, all of that. It's the ego who thinks is starting a spiritual journey. It's the ego who, during the journey, thinks is getting understanding, is getting better. But then ultimately, when awakening happens, it means that the ego died.
Have you ever experienced the death of your ego? Do you remember it?
It's more like, I say, not death, but just like detachment.
Okay.
Because the ego is still present as a voice in the mind now, but it's harmless. Like sometimes just pops out basically, you know, and say, hey, what about this? No, thank you. I've been you until now. The ego, I've identified with you so far, but now it's time to be myself, be the soul. So thank you for the suggestion, but I think that myself now is a soul. I want to do this, I prefer this. I don't need to judge, I don't need anything actually. I just want things and I want to do them exactly as I, the soul, like them. Which is like, if they're in line with love, joy, having fun, expressing, whatever, being creative, all these like positive quality. There's nothing bad basically. The soul is just love, existence, consciousness, it's love, ananda, bliss, So you live like that.
Ananda,
yeah. Ananda. There is a beautiful enlightened master. She's, I guess, 93 years old. I met her in Mumbai a few times with friends and also by myself alone. She's bedridden for like the last 15 years. Not because she has like an illness, because her lower chakras are stuck because of her intense spiritual journey of meditation and everything. So she looks like an oracle basically. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She's a beautiful lady, and she's always smiling. 93 years old, bedridden for the last 15 years, always smiling like nothing happened. Always smiling, thinking about God, being grateful, answering questions. Like, so my darling, what's your question? Tell me. Like ready, like a child, joyful, And she says all the time, it's like when you ask her, how are you today? Damini, but that's her name. It's like, Ananda.
and that's it. That's like the breath coming back.
That's it.
I love it.
Amazing. Really amazing. I cannot wait to go back and see her again. Lovely person. 93 years old, can you imagine? She's like a jewel, and you don't know how long she'll be here.
It's the thing, bro. I feel like I met a lot of people that are in their maybe 60s, but they're like children. And I've met people in their teens or early 20s that are like old people, And I think it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
And we should all keep that child, right? To me, the way I look at it is that, again, the duality, it's having, there is me, and then there is me in the future, like old me, the wise one, and then there is me, the child, right? And so I think it's important to find balance between between the two. There are moments where you have to use that persona, the wise one,
Yes,
and then there are moments where you have to be the child,
absolutely.
right? And so for every place and time, you choose that avatar, let's say, or
Absolutely.
take advice from that one,
Absolutely.
you know. Actually, this makes me think of a question.
Mm.
If you could have dinner or sit with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
alive or dead,
Mm.
who would that be?
Look, it's very simple for me. My guru.
Wow. Not even his guru.
No, why? He's everything. He's like everything is in him. He represents everything. The guru is like from darkness to light. It's like it's a figure who represents the high. It's like God in human form, basically. And there are, of course, many people who I would love to talk to. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the person that I really love, and I love to be in his company and to serve him, if possible, help him with anything, like just listen to him, whatever he says, joke with him, you know, it's him. Like in this lifetime, there is no other person who has like a bigger impact than this. Like even my, I don't know, romantic partners or whatever, it's a different type of love. The love that I talk about when it comes to having a guru, someone who you feel like deeply connected on a spiritual level, exclusively, without any interest from you, and vice versa, it's something, it's too good to be true. Like, I never ever thought about like a relationship like this. I had no idea it could be like this. The love, the extreme love, extreme just love, pure love between like, I don't know if I could say disciple by myself, but when I'm with him, I still like to think I am a disciple, I'm his disciple only, and I still feel and know and that like he's always better than me. And I, even if like I have a good understanding, it doesn't matter, I still want to think that he's better than me. He will always be better than me until he is here around. If someone like has a question, I would rather like look, ask to Gautam if he's available instead of asking me. We know the same things, we speak in the same way. However, because of the respect and love that I have for him, I would always like put in like higher than me. It's like the Sufi master that I was mentioning you before. Like everyone who comes to you, like you always think that they have something greater than you. And if I do that with everyone, why shouldn't I do that with my guru, right? And when I say my guru, it's not like a person you, I would say, how can I say, like, without him, you are nothing, you are lost, you need him. It's not about that. It's like, he makes your life even more beautiful. You're not with the guru because you need him. So, oh my God, without guru, I'm nothing. No. You have to believe in yourself first, know yourself first, become independent, strong, and then love the guru because of the sake of loving the guru, which is someone who just like has no interest whatsoever, just has love for you and just wants to see you like successful on every level, material, spiritual, whatever. So yeah, it's very special, that relationship, and I know that, of course, with him.
Okay. Do you think that everyone needs a spiritual guide, or can they achieve this awakening without it by reading, watching videos, things like that?
My case was without a guru. I met my guru after my own, I would say, spiritual process was intense. However, when I met him, as a confirmation and even like to, I don't know, to make my understanding even more solid, it was definitely useful. It was, everything got faster because of Gautam, because of meeting my guru. So, the short answer is yes. The long answer is you don't really need it. However, if you are lucky enough to be destined to meet a real guru, and I like underline real guru, of course, it's like don't even think about it. And if someone is a spiritual seeker, I would say that be open to the idea that you deserve a guru, that you are a reward for that, and then you will be lucky enough to meet one. It's very special.
Okay, and how do you know if they're real?
You have to be lucky, first of all. Because when you are a spiritual seeker, you cannot really understand what real enlightenment means. But there are some traits that you can like look, no, in like someone who's a guru. First of all, if there is no personal interest projected on you from the guru, that's a beautiful sign, which means that he doesn't want anything from you. You coming to him, he doesn't want you to be there either. He's just happy that you are there, asking him questions, no? But he doesn't want anything from you. If you want to give, you give. He doesn't ask you anything, unless of course like there's something not to be done or whatever. But like if he tries to give you more than what asking kind, it's a good sign, I would say. And when I say giving, I mean like knowledge, attention, empathy, compassion, all these qualities, no? That's a good sign. Maybe it's the main thing I would say, yeah.
But some would say everyone has a motivation to do anything. There is always a goal from doing everything. What's his motivation? Why does he want to share that knowledge so badly? Why? You say he doesn't expect anything in return, but there's nothing there's no reason why he's doing it. There's a motivation.
It's like the story of the Buddha that we mentioned before. You do this because people want you to do this. You do this for others. It's not about yourself. Many times one can feel like a bit tired of like teaching, doing seminars, constantly traveling, right? Like sharing the knowledge. However, your motivation, you keep doing it because you know that people want it, that people are changing their lives like completely by listening to the message that comes out of your mouth. So that's the only motivation that like someone who's enlightened has, just seeing others succeed on their like spiritual path and hoping that they can also do the same with others. That's the only motivation that can be there. But as you can see, it's like very selfless motivation. It's not selfish. It's like after awakening, it's more about like what can I do to help others? Like, why am I still here? You know what I mean? Like, okay, now that I'm here, what can I do for others? Like, what's my best way, to keep people happy? Let's say one is not a guru, but still like you have so much power on your family, on your friends. You can be an amazing human being and share so much love with your friends, with your family. So do that.
Is that the same reason why you wrote this book?
Yes.
At what moment did you realize that you had to write this book? And have you ever felt that maybe you don't know enough to write the book?
Look, when I knew I had to write the book. No, it's great. No, you ask a beautiful question. Like when I knew I had to write the book, I knew enough to write the book. Because the thought of writing the book didn't come before, like in a very serious way. It was very serious to the extent that I was feeling like bad by not writing it, by not starting the book. I was feeling like I was resisting it. In that moment, I knew I was supposed to write the book. The pull was like, the call was like so strong. I have a goosebump now. The call was like so strong, which I knew like everything was like in place for me to write the book. That's it. I had enough. It's like, I know that now maybe I know more than whatever I know, but what's in the book, that's exactly what was supposed to be in that book, with that title at that moment and whatever.
Okay.
So like super aligned with the situation, with the moment exactly as it was at that time.
It sounds like there will be a second volume at some point.
Let's see.
Or volume 2.
Probably yes.
Okay.
Maybe to expand more, no? Also like a different book or maybe on like a different topic if there is a need for that. However, like there are so many books in the world. I can already like point to some books if people ask me.
Okay.
They don't need to read my book.
Okay.
Like my spiritual journey was without my book actually, right? It was like other people's book. There are so many great books around the world. If I feel like, if it will be spontaneous to write another book, that will happen. But like no pressure, no like,
Nice.
There are like so many good things. There's so many great books in the world.
Right. And yours is one of them.
If you say so, I'll take it because I respect you. So thank you so much.
Is there any other idea or key concept that you mentioned in the book that you want to mention now that I missed or didn't ask you about?
I really enjoy something that one of my gurus said in our lineage, like about duality, to make it clear, kinda, and sounds maybe even like a bit controversial. It's like, in order for someone like Mother Teresa to exist, which is considered to be a saintly figure, a good-hearted woman, person, whatever, at the same time, someone like Hitler was existing, which means that you must have, at the same moment of his existence, always someone who's good and someone who's bad.
Okay.
Because this brings like so much, like you drop the weight of like still hoping for a world like where everything will be like in utopia, like all great, only good people, like only an amazing place. It doesn't exist. Like it's not like that. It's not how it works. So accept the fact that duality is part of life. Otherwise, as we were talking before, like if you resist to something, you'll keep attracting it even more. But like embrace life for what it is. Embrace it totally. This is one thing. I would like also to reinforce, because in the book I didn't wrote too much about it, about the roles that we have to play here in this reality. I have to be Mio. And Mio had to be exactly as he was before. Mio has to be exactly as he is now. And Mio will have to be exactly as he will have to be in the future. So like always be in line with the person you are representing in every moment of your existence. With your, what people say, like, I don't know, faults or whatever, no flaws, and also with your qualities. Don't see them, I don't see them as flaws and qualities, just see them as like your characteristics that kind of just you must have to be the character in this movie that you are playing now. You have to have this hairstyle. I have to have this watch. Why? Because we have to be the ones who like represent these things. Like we have to be this type of person, like all the time. That's the second thing. I would say I will add something else, which is awakening is possible for everyone. And it is for me, and according to all the people that were lucky enough to reach that state, the most beautiful event you could ever like go through in life, because you start living like a new life. You are new, you are fresh. You finally start living life when that moment happens. The moment of awakening is not like the end goal. It's, I would say, the biggest goal that kind of like starts, I don't know, like makes you, everything is like, it becomes magical. It's like a superpower, and everyone can achieve that no matter where you're from. I was 22 years old. I grew up in Romania, then I moved to Italy. I was like exposed to different cultures. Like they weren't like too like spiritual, more religious, I would say. And yet I found my way to spirituality and to like live it, embrace it, and realize it. So it's possible. And I did it like in a very short time. And if I did it, everyone else can do it. Like on the paper, I had no reason at that moment of time, that young, from wherever I'm coming from, to get like something like that. And yet it happened. So that also has to be there. Like,
why is it important for everyone to have it?
Because it's not about like, I would say like the most important thing is that people have to believe in themselves, have to believe how great they are, have to believe how much they can achieve. And like these stories like mine, I'm just I'm just saying basically, hey, there is something more, you can do it. That's my role basically. They can do it by themselves. They can do it like 100%. And the main thing is that they have to believe in themselves. They have to believe how great they are, because people don't see it. We look at ourselves like from the bed, like we're judging ourselves. Oh, I miss this, I don't have this. But like, stop a moment, reframe the way you look at yourself. You are so great. I can see it now because I went through a process. But I want you to, at least now that you don't see it, have faith in the fact that you also will see it one day. You can see it. you can see how great you are. I was there before, I thought like so low about myself. Now I'm here, I think like great about myself, and I think the same about everyone else. And everyone can come to this state of like beautiful oneness, so like power, like love.
I love it. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you, thank you.
What else? I mean, spoke almost about everything.
You have any question?
I
It's not
have
about
many
the book,
questions.
something like.
I can have like rapid fire questions that you could
It's
answer
fun.
to. Yeah, this would be fun.
It could sound controversial, probably, but sounds fun.
I'll try to keep it fun. I have many.
And you want a
So,
short answer for each, or like what?
Up to you. It's up to you.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
be raw. The first one that inspired me to start this podcast actually is you also are a traveler. Can call you a nomad.
Yeah. A gypsy, I would even say, considering my roots. So yeah, definitely.
How? And we met at a gym.
Yes.
So obviously you look great.
Thank you. Not like you, but fine, I
you're
guess. I'll
great.
take it.
How do you stay fit while traveling?
Very simple. I don't think I'm traveling. I just like, I think in my mind, okay, that's my routine. That's normal. I wake up, I eat good food. I need to work out. I do my work, and that's it. So in my mind, I say to myself, I'm not traveling.
Okay.
That's exactly how I live my life. That's my lifestyle.
Okay. Good answer. All right, next one. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
To be more empathetic. I feel like I have a great heart, but I believe that a woman who is compassionate and who has love, there is too much beauty in it. And I know that I'm a man, I have my limitations, sometimes I can be too rational. That's why it's like, if I could have even more, like a bigger heart, like love even more, that's what I would choose.
Beautiful. Why?
Why not?
Fair. All right, the next one. If you could send a message, like a text message that would reach millions of people, what would it be?
Breathe.
Nice. So meaning be here, be
Yes.
in the present.
Like,
Amazing. I keep saying that because that's Mio's word. Amazing.
amazing.
Okay. I have more questions.
Oh, okay, sure.
One book everyone should read besides yours.
Think and Grow Rich by
Napoleon
Napoleon
Hill.
Hill.
I love that one.
Yes.
That's a very good starter. Like everyone that's starting the growth journey, I think that's the first book.
They think it's about becoming like successful financially. No, just becoming like having an abundant mindset, having like faith in yourself and believe in yourself.
Okay.
You're strong. You can just think and grow rich on like different level.
And rich is not just financially,
Exactly.
but in every level. I like that. All right. What's your advice to someone about to start their spiritual journey?
Okay, I'll take some time because I know it can be delicate. Explore with the intention to find your spiritual home as soon as possible. Do not go in the spiritual journey to do many things. Do things in order to find as soon as possible your spiritual home.
Okay. And that would lead me to the next question. Favorite city in the world for finding peace?
I would suggest a hardcore, I would say, spiritual city that someone who's very serious about their own journey can go there. and really like, not even like peace, like, I don't know, true awakening. It's called Tiruvannamalai. It's in India, and my guru does once a year a retreat over there for this reason, I guess. So yeah, that one.
Okay. Cool. What's your biggest guilty pleasure?
Easy. I'm Italian. Pizza. Easy.
Okay. Okay.
At least 3 times a week since I travel, I have pizza.
Wow. Wow. What do you think? What do you say to people that put pineapple on their pizza?
I respect them. I love them. I would never, ever in my entire life try a pizza with pineapple though, so.
That's a very kind answer.
Yes, I'm doing my best.
I expected something more aggressive.
No, I'm doing my best, trying to be politically correct. But yeah, I mean, look, I like pineapple as a juice.
Okay.
That's like all Italians. As a juice is amazing, as a mixed fruit salad, but like pizza has like a different concept. You know, pizza is more like family traditions, Italy, you know what I mean? Like it has different vibe. So if you put pineapple on it, I don't know what you're trying to make there. What's that?
It's not a pizza.
I don't know, what's that? Fruit salad? What? With bread? Tomato?
Fruit salad with the bread. Ketchup on pizza?
Oh God. Next.
You're like, I don't want to even answer.
What?
All right. If you had to give a TED talk that's not about spirituality, what would it be about?
Okay. I would say communication. Because I value the power of the words. And if I say something nice to you, I can get a hug from you. If I say something bad, I can get a punch from you. So I would suggest people to really like understand how powerful words can be to express a message, to connect, to disconnect, and so on and so forth. So communication.
Okay. Great. I'm out of questions.
Okay, now it's my turn.
unless there is something else you wanna share or answer the question that you get all the time. Actually, I have another one.
Okay.
Did you ever get a bad advice from your guru?
No. I would say that once he gave me an advice, but it was like a common advice that I didn't follow. But it was just like a personal choice. However, I would say something which I think is very important like to know. Whatever the guru says, it has like some magic to it. For example, he told me, I don't know, yeah, you should go to this place or like to that place, or like in a very relaxed way. And I did that. I followed his advice. Amazing people I met there, amazing experiences. I loved the place. There was something magical about it. So it's not that like he gave me like a bad advice. The only thing is that I didn't follow his advice once about like, I don't know, school, study or whatever. So I don't know how it would have like been if I would have followed it. But every time I follow his advice, it's magical. Like everything just like falls like into place like crazy. Every time. And even like, let's say my business partner now that I met him because of him ultimately. When I went in the city that I mentioned before, Tiruvannamalai, I met some people from Bali. I came to Bali and then I met my business partner. So like because of him, I realized that even like my material aspect of life is taken care of. So like whatever the guru says, especially when he says it like in a very relaxed way, like almost like intuitional. If you follow that, because it comes from love, from like purity, there's something magical about it. So, and also like whatever happens around the guru, which is someone who's like free of like bad second intention on you, free of desire for himself, just here, just trying to help and be himself and share himself, it's magical.
If, like you said earlier, if it's the real one.
It has to be real. Okay. But you know what? See, a real guru accepts the fact that there are like fake gurus. So fake disciples go to the fake gurus. And real disciples go to the real guru.
Okay. It's like a magnet. There is...
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're still not like... many times we feel like, oh, but he's such a good person. Why did he go through that? I'll tell you like a small story so kind of give you an idea how they see it in India. So there was like this monk that was like on a building, a high building, and was looking like down the road on the street. There was like a person without legs. I was feeling like very sorry, But then his guru comes by. He's like, "Why are you crying? Why do you feel like so sorry? What's happening?" He's like, "Well, but look at this person. He doesn't have legs." And the guru looks at him and tells him, "If you knew what that person did in a previous life, you wouldn't feel that sorry."
So he did something in the past that...
That's why that life.
What do you mean by different life? Are there different lives that we live?
So I was amazed the first time I spoke with my guru, when we were just like meeting for the first time. I didn't even feel of him as my guru. He, well, like a normal talk, he just mentioned like with so much ease, he was like, yes, because in a previous life I was like, and I was shocked. In India, the whole concept about past lives, it's like of course there are past lives. It's not even like a question to them. And I would add that on my spiritual journey, for example, I had a few experiences, especially in the dream state. Since I don't have like superpowers or whatever, the dream state is kind of the state where like interesting things can happen. I had a dream who I knew it was not a dream. I knew 100%, because at that moment that was kind of like my question or whatever during the journey. That in the dream I was like shown a previous life, who I was in a previous life. I felt it. I don't know how to explain it, but in that moment I remember like all the doubts about past life. Is it true? Is it not true? Just like kind of fall off. That's it. And I would even say something else that maybe can help someone else. Whatever you say you experience in a dream is not different from like experience it in this reality. Again, when I was on the spiritual journey, I had one of the biggest questions that like a spiritual seeker has. It was, but why there is suffering in the world? Like why there is evil or whatever, and how to overcome it. I described this dream because like maybe it can help someone. I was like in a room, whatever, it was dark, and then I got locked in the room. There was a baby there were all the people in the house in the room. There was like a baby sitting on a couch. It was like a rebel, like I don't know, like kind of possessed baby, something like that. And for me, the meaning of the baby was evil. I knew it, I felt it. Okay, so I tried to kind of block his arms, so I stopped this evil or whatever. So I tried to control evil in order to stop it, right? But I can't, and then he kind of gets like another arm. He comes like another arm, until then I kind of realized that the only way to kind of stop all of this is to wake up from the dream. The only way to go beyond evil, the problem of evil, is to just like wake up from the dream and accept it as just like a part of duality. Wake up and accept it as part of duality. Has to be there. You cannot control it, you cannot suppress it, you cannot resist to it. Evil has to be here. And that moment I have goosebumps. From that day I kind of like dropped every doubt I had. Like I knew like the only way to go to evil is like stop asking yourself why there is evil, how can I overcome it, stop all of that, accept it. That is bad. And if that is bad, know that it's come from trauma, suffering. So just like have love for that.
What if you see it, the evil in real life, how do you wake up from that?
Same way you wake up from like a dream. Life is not different than a dream, as we mentioned before. Same level, comes and goes, it's like a dream, whatever. It's not there in deep sleep, just a dream. Like, see it as a dream. See it as part of the dream. Just like the physical dream, but still a dream life.
I also wonder, why do you think the evil was in the image of a baby?
I would say, it's just like, for me, so dreams are very subjective. It's like people like, you can ask others about your dreams, but ultimately do your own math, because you know what the symbols are like, for you, for yourself. Baby in that moment represented someone who was like very active, couldn't stop himself, like very like whatever. In that look, that baby, and like all these things, So it was like very subjective actually. But yeah, I mean, the most important part from that dream was like the constant like arms coming out. Even if you try to stop one, there is another one coming out. No, but like do not control. Do not try to understand why or whatever. Just like transcend it. That's like the real word, like word for me in that moment. Was if you transcend it, which is like you will focus on, I don't know, on yourself, you as a soul, who you really are. Then all the other problems, the questions, the doubts that you have, they all like kind of like fall off.
Okay. Nice. There's a lot of concepts that I'm sure people are gonna listen to, and they're gonna pause and start pondering and thinking about.
Yeah.
And you probably should get the book to learn more. So
if you want, if you don't get it. Like, it's not for everyone. Like I know that.
Okay. Well, for those that want to,
Yeah.
where could they find the book, and also where can they find you?
Yeah. So I guess they can find it on Amazon. I think I'm the worst person to sell my own book. Like I have no idea like how to do this, where to do it. But yeah, I will be posting some content on YouTube because it's a beautiful platform where you can share and everything stays there. Maybe something also on Instagram, and the name will be Maestro Mio, so it's easy to find. And the book on Amazon for sure, and also on my website. I will try to share some content, maybe some articles, try to reply some questions. In the future, I plan to create like a video course, also like maybe like a group, let's say calls, like monthly calls to share as much, whatever I can share with as possible with people.
Okay, and I'll add all this to the show notes so
Thank you
people
so
can
much.
find you.
You are amazing. I really loved this conversation. You're a great interviewer. I felt like so comfortable. I felt like at home. And yeah, I really hope this podcast will love it.
Well, like you said, whether it does or not, good.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much for
love
coming,
it.
brother.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say before we?
This guy is amazing. Keep following him. He became one of my best friends. He's from Bali, and yeah, just like amazing
Thanks,
guy.
bro. Appreciate you, man. Amazing.
Wow.